Are you feeling like you're running on a treadmill set to max speed, exhausted, overwhelmed, and unmotivated? Well, if you're like me, you might be nodding yes. But the good news is that you're not alone. Welcome to today's episode on PeakLife, where we're diving deep on a topic that's close to my heart and unfortunately, my own personal history, burnout. It's a tale of exhaustion, enlightenment, and eventually emergence. So let's get into it. I found that burnout sneaks up on you. It's disguised as just another bad day, maybe a bad week, turning into a relentless cycle that doesn't seem to ever let up. The signs include fatigue, irritability, ongoing anxiety, and even trouble sleeping. So does this sound familiar? It's almost as if your life becomes a game of how much can you take, until eventually you realize that you've been burning the candle at both ends, but with a flamethrower. So let me draw you into my world for a minute and share my own personal history with burnout. Imagine being fueled by an insatiable desire to learn, to accomplish more, and to do everything that you can to an upstanding level of perfection. That's me, a textbook ENTJ type A, constantly charging ahead in life with a to-do list that could unnerve any superhero. My earlier years were dominated with grueling 10 to 12-hour days in construction. And the weekends weren't for resting, they were for catching up on everything I didn't get done during the week and to try to put in a couple more hours of work. Transitioning into engineering school felt like I was swapping a heavy backpack to having that same heavy backpack but trekking up a mountain. Personally, being not the brightest bulb in the chandelier, I wrestled with my assignments into the late hours of the night every single day. And I was a permanent resident in the library on the weekends, trying to understand what I needed to know to complete my degree. After the many years in engineering school, I thought that graduation was going to be my ticket out and into the promised life of a successful engineer, owning a house, having a boat. Instead, it was just a ticket to more, to wanting more, to doing more, and commutes that ate hours out of my life. A workload that never knew when to quit, and evenings that were spent in the seductive glow of the computer screen trying to learn more, or hunched over a workbench doing woodworking and knife making. Throw in a dash of exercise, a pinch of attempted healthy living, and the ongoing pursuit of trying to be a good partner. Fast forward this through post-COVID life, debts were piling up, savings dwindled, and the cost of living skyrocketed. Knowing that I needed another way out, a way of feeling like I was fulfilling my potential, and I dove headfirst into blogging and YouTube, trying to find ways to have digital leverage in this new world. My every free minute was allocated. Every ounce of energy I had was accounted for. And then it hit, the burnout. My world, once vibrant with hobbies and passions, turned monochrome. My marriage strained. Work became a battleground. And my once loved hobbies turned into merely more tasks on my to-do list. But in these ashes of burnout, I found a few gems. The Almanac of Naval Ravikant opened my eyes to the power of leverage. Deep Work by Cal Newport became my blueprint for meaningful productivity. And The One Thing by Gary Keller, well, that book reshaped my entire approach to life. It taught that I had to find the one most important thing to do in every day and at every moment, and not let the trivial many overtake the importance of the vital few. P.S. I'll leave a link to all these great books in the description, as well as my video summaries of them. Through burnout, through the months of exhaustion, I had to take a hard look at my life and start cutting out any excess that wasn't leading to more fulfillment. Hours watching TV or playing video games? Gone, unless they brought me closer to relationships that I cared about. My friendships with energy vampires? Also gone. I released them back into the wild and started to focus only spending my time with people that I cared about and recharged me when I spent time with them. I instituted a bedtime routine that allowed me to actually recharge from that day, so that I could tackle the next day with the energy and focus I needed to be productive and produce meaningful work. And the deep work time became my sanctuary, a space where I could become productive, creative, and actually think without the endless pinging of notifications and demands on my time and energy. I realized that burnout wasn't just a time to recharge, it was a time to reinvent myself. So you might be asking, how do you bulletproof your life against burnout? I think the first thing to understand is that your energy, focus, and time are finite resources, and the most important ones that you have. So you need to set clear boundaries between your work and personal life. And just because someone emails you after hours doesn't mean that you have to respond right away. You should cultivate hobbies that replenish you and not just fill your day with tasks that deplete you. And I think a super important part is to spend time and find people that enjoy doing the activities that you do, so you can have a social aspect while still getting to do those activities and hobbies that you love. Next, you need to embrace the power of no. It's a complete sentence on its own. There's a phrase from Derek Sivers that I really like, the author of the book Hell Yes or No, that I often think about. He shares a strategy to say yes to future requests only if you'd be happy to do them today or tomorrow. And the meaning of this is that oftentimes we think the future version of ourselves will have more time for these things, not realizing that we'll probably be just as busy in 3 months as we are today. So if that offer to do something isn't a hell yes today, don't assume it will be in 6 months. Also, I think a huge key to living the fullest version of your life isn't by trying to add more in, but instead trying to remove all of the excess. Look for the activities, the chores, and the people that you can cut from your life and be better off without. A great way to do this is by doing an energy and time audit. And Tim Ferriss talks about this quite a bit in his yearly review. I suggest every quarter, go through your calendar, go through your bank cards, and see which activities brought you a lot of joy, which activities were neutral, and which ones really depleted you. Start off by eliminating as many of the activities, the people, the different requirements on your time that depleted you. The goal is, as we progress through life, to do less and less of the things that we don't enjoy, so that we can have more time to do the things that actually fulfill us and push our life towards its full potential. And eventually, once you eliminate all of those activities that deplete you, start looking at the things that are neutral. See which ones you can outsource to someone else who enjoys them. And this will create more time, more energy, and more focus for you to do the meaningful work, for you to spend time with your friends and family, and to have your own downtime. Also, you can, and I think you should, seek out support, whether it's from friends or family or even professional help. And we need to remember that vulnerability isn't a weakness. Instead, it's a step towards strength. I have found incredible personal growth from going to therapy, doing the Myers-Briggs personality test, which I'll leave a link to below for a free test that you can do. Through this, I learned I was okay to be me. My passions and my desires weren't wrong just because other people didn't also share them. Doing the personality test and learning that I'm an ENTJ and going through the therapy to realize that, yes, it's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel like you want to have purpose in life, that you want to make meaningful contributions to the world. Revisiting my story, it's clear that burnout doesn't discriminate. It can hit any of us, whether we think we deserve it or not. But burnout isn't an end. It's a new beginning, a chance to reassess, realign, and most importantly, reignite that passion that you have for work, for your life, and for everything else that you spend your time on. Now, I know many people that have hit burnout just like myself, but I also know many people that have reemerged from it with a new purpose, a new sense of what they care about, and how they're gonna move their life going forward. So if you're suffering from burnout, if you've hit that wall, or if you feel like you're just creeping towards it, know that it's okay and you're not alone. This isn't a sentence, and you can navigate through this. So if you've struggled with burnout, I would love if you could share down in the comments some of the tips and tricks and tools that you've used to help navigate it, so that our community can all grow together and be better equipped to handle our type A desires and passions for a better life. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one, which I'll leave up here.